Phil Weiser calling out Amerigas after a series of complaints from Coloradans. According to the AG, several customers reported the company's been unable or unwilling to service their propane tanks, and that's leaving many on emergency levels for weeks, and it's tough during the winter, of course. Customers also reporting they were hit with extra fees for emergency deliveries. Weiser telling Amerigas in a letter it has until March 1st to come up with a plan to make it right. In a letter, he said, in part, quote, by denying their consumers access to propane, Amerigas is endangering Coloradans across the state. The company needs to deliver on their commitments to their Colorado consumers. Amerigas sent a statement saying, in part, that, quote, we closely monitor demand and proactively allocate resources where needed. But like other industries, we're still facing driver shortages. We continue to recruit and hire throughout.
Hey, everybody. CJ Goes Unleashed. Today, I want to talk to you guys about Amerigas. Now, I don't know how everyone heats their homes. By the way, welcome to the channel. I just wanted to get right into it because I'm so irritated about this. I don't know how you heat your home, but we bought a new house and we have propane. And our propane tanks are serviced by Amerigas. Now, if you know anything about filling up your tanks with oil or propane, mostly in the north, that's what we have up here. In the south, mostly electric. But the propane tanks are owned by Amerigas. So they were charging us $2.71 per pound, and our tanks are both 100-pound tanks. So we called them up to get it serviced, and this was in November or December. It started to get cold. We switched back from electric because we have two heat sources in our house. So we switched back to propane for the colder part of the winter. So when we called up, usually when you call up your propane company, they're like, okay, we'll be out there tomorrow, or the next day, or if it's an emergency, you have to pay something for them to come out like right now. For us, it wasn't an emergency. But I'll tell you what, these guys are a big scam artist. Here's why. Because if you don't call within 10 days of needing propane or oil, they charge you a $300 fee. $300 just to come out. And then, if your tank is below 5%, they charge you per line $140 to test your line, to make sure your fucking line works. And you know goddamn well your line works because you just ran out of propane an hour ago or yesterday or whatever. When you're talking about $400, $500, $600 for Amerigas to come out before they charge you $2.71 a gallon. So I was like, okay, I'm over this shit. Totally over it. Because this is the second time it's happened. We had to pay the $300 fee. So now this is the third time that this is happening. Is it my fault? Yeah, because I didn't check it, right? I waited till it went down to like 15% and then called them. So yeah, I'm the dumb a little bit, right? But the point is, they make you wait 10 days and they call it an emergency if it's anything less than 10 days. So I'm like, nope, I'm calling a new company. So I called Suburban Propane. Called them up and I was like, hey, can you guys switch my tanks out? And they said, yeah. And I said, well, Amerigas wants to charge me $200 to take the fucking tanks out. This is ridiculous. So they said, no, we don't charge you for that. So this was on Tuesday. Wednesday morning yesterday, Suburban tanks are there. They removed the old tanks and put them to the side of the house. I called up the Amerigas and told them to come pick it up. They said it's going to be a couple of weeks. I was like, that's fine. It's out of the way anyway. But here's the deal. I was looking at $1,000 for Amerigas to come out and fill me up whenever they felt like filling me up. Today, yesterday, tomorrow, another day from now. When I went with Suburban Propane charged me $50 for the tanks. Then they charged me $2.17 a gallon times 100. So the total came with taxes, fees, everything, the tank rentals, $551. So half of what Amerigas was going to charge me. And now I never have to worry about the bullshit of calling 10 days in advance. Because I asked Suburban Propane, I was like, yo, if I call you guys when I'm at 15 or 20% or even at 10%, how long is it going to take you? And they said the maximum is 2 to 3 days. So, folks, I would not ever deal with Suburban or with Amerigas ever. Suburban seems to be a much better company. So with that rant, I'm over. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Enjoy your day. God bless.
Into a growing number of complaints against a national propane company that have reached the state's attorney general's office. In a story you'll only see on CBS 17, Kayla Strayer is getting answers for a Moore County family who says the propane they paid for was never delivered. Amber Nottingham contacted us this week saying she paid more than $600 for propane that Amerigas was supposed to deliver to her son's Moore County home December 19th.
The day came and went, and they didn't show up.
The family used space heaters to stay warm through Christmas.
It was freezing in the house. It's like 30-something degrees downstairs. You can't go without heat, especially if you've already paid for it.
Amber says the company's customer service made the problem worse.
Today, I got hung up on 3 times. Last week, it rang and rang and rang and rang. Trying to get a hold of them and sit on hold for hours just to be hung up on is very frustrating.
When we started digging into Amber's complaint, we learned the North Carolina Attorney General's office received 28 complaints against Amerigas this year.
We've seen an uptick in complaints against Amerigas.
North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein says Amerigas told his office they've experienced issues because of a new computer system.
My concern isn't what caused it, it's that they fix it and that they do right by their customers. My sincere hope is that Amerigas gets its act together. But that's why we really do need to hear from its customers, because the only way we know if things are working right is if people let us know.
The propane problems aren't just in North Carolina. The BBB reports more than 900 complaints from people around the country were filed against Amerigas in the past 3 years. The company isn't accredited, but they do respond to customer complaints on the BBB's website. In general, the BBB says utility companies do tend to get more customer complaints than other types of businesses.